So how you get on Empire, man?
I got on Empire through my man Qua. Rest in peace, my man Qua. He manages an artist from Philly named Lights Cameras. And what happened was, to be honest, man, he called me one day, and I really thought he was lying. Like, I never acted a day in my life. He was like, yo, I just sent the video of you and Lights to the casting director, and it was really for Lights to showcase his artist.
Right.
And the casting director was like, yo, bring the big guy too.
Funny how that shit works, right?
That's what's up.
I'm on the phone like, yeah, all right, man.
Right.
Whatever. You know what I mean? He like, no, for real, I'm about to give her your number. She about to call you. Like 20 minutes later, she called me. She was like, yo, if you want to audition, you know, she got to be in Chicago like Tuesday. This was like a Sunday. I was like, all right, bet. So we drove out there. I was so naive. I thought it was just me auditioning. I thought it was all about me. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
We got there. It was like it was a lobby. It was full of people all auditioning for the same line. So I just, you know, kept reading my lines. I was like, man, I ain't going in there until I gotta take it. You know what I mean? I need this. You know what I mean, for something. So I just went there and did what I did, bro. And Lights, I didn't even know me and Lights was auditioning for the same role. We got back in the car after the audition where everybody was dapping it up. Like, man, that was dope, right? Yeah, it was dope. My phone rang. It was an Illinois number. I'm like, holy fuck, I don't know nobody in Illinois. And it was them. Like, yo, you got the role. You know what I mean? It was love, man. You know what I mean? Rest in peace, Squad. It was some good dudes, man, because I say all the time, like, a lot of people wouldn't extend that offer.
Right.
You know what I mean? To bring me in, and just from a business aspect, these are my guys, but they don't have no business relationship with me. He was promoting the artists he manages that, you know what I mean, they got a business deal with. So to bring somebody in that you don't even have a business situation with and put them in a lane to be on that type of platform to be seen by millions, I can't be nothing but grateful, man. You know what I mean? God bless his soul. He was a good dude, man.
What was day one like on the set? So now you're part of the show. You walk in there, what's it like?
I was just trying to keep my phone from pulling my phone out. You know what I mean? I wanted to kind of look like I belonged. You know what I mean? But I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm like Terrence Howard, like we on set for 10 hours. I mean, Taraji, everybody. I'm like, yo, I'm just looking around like. But then I'm trying to play it cool. I'm like snapping in and out of it.
Right.
It was dope though, man. It was a good experience. It's definitely something I want to pursue more. I want to really find like an agent where I can start auditioning for more roles. And just try to, you know, have as many traits under my head that I can.
So you got the acting bug.
Yeah,
That's
man.
right.
Yeah.
You in front of the camera once, and that's
I'm
it.
telling you, man. Especially just, you know, to see it on that platform, like when they aired it, like my city went crazy.
They went crazy.
You know what I mean? They went crazy, bro. Like it was just a good feeling, man. You know what I mean? But it's just always on to the next for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't really take time to pat myself on the back and bask in it, bro. It's just always like, all right, that was dope. Now we gotta do something else. You know what I mean? So
You on the move a lot, on the road a lot?
yeah.
Just work, just
grinding, man. You know what I mean?
pushing product, right?
A lot of people don't understand, man. This is work.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's work. And when you see artists get to that point, it's like 10 to 12 years that they've been just grinding, bro. You know what I mean? And a lot of people just get caught up in the overnight aspect of it, that they come overnight. Like, it's really work, bro.
Yeah, it's
You know
crazy.
what I mean? Work. Like, relationships from 10 years ago that's just coming back to fruition now, and they in position. You know what I mean? And they pulling me in, but it's just people that you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
It's work, man.
I remember when I worked for Sirius, I traveled like regionally, so around the Northeast covering teams and stuff, games. And the hardest thing being away on the road is finding something to eat that's a go-to.
Yeah,
because it's hard to get something, like a cheesesteak's not a cheesesteak elsewhere.
Right.
So for me, the one thing that I could find that I knew was always going to be good no matter where I got it from was a meatball parm. You know? Because it's hard, you can't screw up a meatball. Like PB&J and meatball, you got anything go-to? Like you're on the road, it could be China, it could be California, it could be anywhere.
Man, you know, when I go on the road, it's crazy because I just hit like people from them cities that I deal with. And they like, yo, let me take you on my man spot. He got
smart,
that, you know what I mean?
Smart.
So I always
Networking.
try to have relationships wherever I'm at. Like, and I tell people that all the time. Like, relationships, not even just in music, bro. It's just in life. It's so important. You know what I mean? Just to be able to get off the plane anywhere and could pick up the phone and call somebody.
Great,
like,
right?
yo, I'm in your city, bro. Like, all right, I'm about to pull up on you. Like, you know what I mean? What you need? You need something? You good? It's just, you know what I mean? It just make it everything go smooth. You know
No, but that's how I am though. Like going to the combine in Indianapolis, Indiana. Yo,
I was lost, but I built a relationship with a barber from out there. I know where to get the good food from.
Right.
I know where the party safe at.
Right.
I know where, like, no matter where I go, I know somebody there, and I can attest to that. But going somewhere blindly,
It's crazy.
You gotta respect the laws of the land.
Right,
Man. You gotta respect the laws of the
right.
land. You gotta respect the people in these cities. And I just always believe, like, when you come showing love, it get reciprocated and it come back.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then you can. I don't speak to people for 10, 12 years. I went to Atlanta. My man pulled right up on me, like, I'm calling off work, bro. I'm coming to the studio. I ain't seen you in 10 years. You know what I mean? So, it just show you the power of just being, putting out that good energy, man, and come back.
What's the craziest place you toured, just been around?
The craziest place, I'd probably say Phoenix City, Alabama. I was in a club called Club Moet, bro.
Phoenix City, Alabama. What's that population? 800?
Man,
That's crazy. I lived in Alabama for 4 years and I never heard of Phoenix.
City,
Yeah, I was right. I was in Nashville, which ain't far from
I was
Bama.
in Chattanooga, Tennessee,
Yeah.
too. That was a crazy stop.
Chattanooga's
too.
not. It's not that bad. It's
not
sneak
bad.
crazy.
Those
Yeah,
nice,
you got a lot of
But
stuff
just
going
coming,
on.
just coming from a small city like Trenton, and
Right.
then just seeing like this, just seeing that stuff and just absorbing, and taking it back home. It's like, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's to move around, doing what you love to do. You know what I mean?
I got one question since you're in Trenton. That's that's almost the midpoint between New York and Philly. What city's culture do you take in the most? Since you like right in the middle of everything.
I mean, Trenton is Central Jersey. A lot of people think it's South Jersey.
Right.
So, like, if you go to Trenton, it's like it's a melting pot almost of New York and Philly.
Right.
So it's like, like in the '90s when everybody was doing like the science and the mathematics, it sprinkled down to Trenton.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Certain Philly things, sprinkled down to Trenton. So it's like we got our own style, but then it's like we influenced by these two markets too. You know what I mean? I always played Philly heavy because when I came back from Atlanta, I was living in Atlanta for a couple years, and I always said that the powers that be in Philly didn't know who Big O was. Being that Trenton don't have radio stations, you need a Cosmic Kev when the labels call and say, yo, it's this kid from, because when the labels call, even off from Trenton, New Jersey, they say, yo, it's this kid from Philly. Big O.
Right.
Because at the end of the day,
They connect you
they
with Philly
connect with
radio.
markets. They don't connect with individual towns until you make them respect and you get to that point. Right. So when they call them, the A&Rs, the Def Jam are calling, they call him Cosmic Kev and say, yo, it's this kid from Philly, Big O. And he's like, I never heard of him. So now it's like, okay, you got to go back home and got work to do. And a lot of people don't understand that in Trenton, we don't have a radio station. In Jersey, we don't have radio stations. So the North Jersey artists, they get attached to the New York market. Okay. We get attached to the Philadelphia market. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So at the end of the day, once I came home and I said, you know what, I got to break into this Philadelphia market. I reached out to Gilly. He was like the first person. And Gilly plugged me with Kev. And from there, it was just like a domino effect. It was like everybody in Philly you can name really almost like, I don't even want to start naming people because I'm going to forget somebody, but everybody almost. Okay. You know what I mean? And it's like, it blow a lot of people's mind because they never seen that, like a dude from Jersey get the love in Philly, get the love like that. You know what I mean? It's a blessing, man. I just appreciate the love.
You get that same type. I know it's bigger, but do you get that same type of internal networking and love in New York? I just feel like you don't. I mean, you get people that show love. Don't get me wrong, but not to where you have a circle of people that's always going to sacrifice something for somebody else.
You know what it is? Right now, the way I play the Philly market is what I'm getting ready to do up top.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like once I do that up top, it's going to trickle from there. It's going to be on. You know what I mean? So it's like now, my way of thinking is always to come into new markets with the strongest people in those markets. Because if you come in with the strongest people, everybody under them falls in line. So if I come into Philly with Gilly, Meek, and Beanie Siegel, who's going to oppose Big O?
Nobody.
They're going to be like, yo, if these three dudes stood next to him, main man got to be something. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So if I go into New York with Jadakiss and these kind of guys, it's like, come on, these credible dudes, we're not going to oppose their judgment. You know what I mean? We know what they stand for. We know they're not co-signing nothing. That's not worth co-signing. So it's just all chess moves, man.
The blueprint. That's the new blueprint.
Yeah.
Somebody had to pay for that.
That's
You know what I mean? Like,
Give a little bit of game.
You gave it.
The rest of it gonna cost $100.